All right, well, today's the day. Finish up the garden beds, get them ready for spring. It's been such a beautiful day. Couldn't resist getting out and working in the garden. 64 degrees, nice clear skies, a little bit of sunshine. It's clouded up now and we're supposed to get some rain tonight, but still can't complain about that for late February. So it's a great time to get in, work in the garden. I did go pick up a layer of compost, or a load of compost. So what I've done with my garden beds, I don't till. Basically I do like a back to Eden garden. So it's just compost and rabbit manure on top, no till. I try not to walk on my garden beds themselves so they don't get compacted down, and then just cover them up. Now, I don't use wood chips, and I'll tell you why. I love wood chips. They're great. They, you put them on your garden bed, suppress weeds, they break down, they feed the garden. It's just more organic matter going into it. They're fantastic. But the reason I don't use them, well, first of all, it's hard to come by. Hard to come by wood chips in the quantity I need. The kind of weeds we have around here, especially the Bermuda grass that grows in everybody's lawn around here, I just can't suppress it with wood chips. I have to have about that much, that deep on my garden beds, and it's just, I just can't come up with that many wood chips. They break down. Like I said, they feed the garden. They're great for that, but I just can't come up with that many that often. It's just too much work to keep up with. So I've switched over to a woven ground cover, and this stuff is great. And it's basically the same concept as wood chips. I mean, as far as you provide a covering over, a mulch layer over your garden so you suppress the weeds. And you can see probably in my garden bed here, I don't have a single weed growing in it. Now I've laid down like rabbit manure and I've laid down compost over it, but still, you pull this weed fabric up, this ground cover up in the spring or in the fall, and there's not a single weed growing in there. Nothing growing in it. It keeps the ground nice and loose. You don't have to till it. It's sorry, I got a hawk calling at me. Took my attention away. I'm like a dog squirrel. Anyway, this stuff works fantastic at suppressing the weeds. I have switched brands. This is DeWitt Sunbelt Woven Ground Cover. I'll leave a link down below. This is good stuff right here. What I've got down in the walkways is a different brand, a professional grade landscape fabric. I don't remember the brand. And the problem I had with it is it doesn't let the water through very well. So I've switched over for my planting rows anyway. I'm going to be using this DeWitt woven ground cover here. And it is specifically designed to let water through. You can see, conserves water by design. It covers the ground. It prevents evaporation. Keeps it damp underneath. But it's nice, and let me get it opened up and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. All right, so this is the stuff right here. Get this up close to the camera. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but it's just kind of a woven, I don't know, polypropylene, I think it is what it is. Plastic kind of woven fabric. And you can almost, you can kind of see through it. You can see where it's got holes in it where the water is going to be able to get through. But yet it, prevents a lot of the light from going through. It's going to prevent the weeds from growing up just because it's on top of them. They're not going to grow. Max, gather. Get. So this stuff, works great. I've been using a ground cover for years and years, well, several years anyway, and it does a fantastic job of suppressing the weeds. I don't have to pull a single weed all summer long. It just saves so much effort, so much time. It conserves water. It's just fantastic. You need some kind of mulch layer on your garden, and this is the best I've found. With the weeds that we have here, I haven't been able to suppress them with anything else. I've tried several things. I've used straw, and straw works really, really well. Lay it on pretty thick, but again, the problem is it breaks down really fast, and you just got to keep adding more straw. Same thing with wood chips. Now, they do feed the garden, so that process of them breaking down is really good for your garden because it adds nutrients to your soil. So what I do is I bring in some compost and some rabbit manure and just lay a layer of that down. I don't till it in. There's no need to till it in. Everything underneath it will take care of that itself. Now, again, I've said this before, it's really best to do that in the fall. Lay down all your compost and rabbit manure, do that in the fall when your growing season's done. Let it set all winter long and then plant into it in the spring. That's nothing else I have to do. Don't have to till it in or anything. I do need to get a brick and set it on this end of the fabric though, because I got some wind and it's blowing it around. So I'm going to get this laid out real quick. All right, I think I got it down to where it's going to stay. And then it's just a matter of rolling it out. So, alrighty. All laid out exactly where I need it. So, let me get the mallet and some stakes, and we're just going to stake this out. Oh. And then I'm just going to work my way down. Let me get in camera here so you can see me. Work my way down, go probably every 2.5, 3 feet, somewhere right around in there. You're going to want to put a stake all the way down this side, and then I'll cut it off at the other end once I get down there and get it all lined up, or make sure it's all lined up, I should say. Now, to plant into this, you may wonder that, like, how do you go about planting into this? So to plant into this, what I'm going to be doing is I'll be coming back with a torch and just burn a hole in it. It's basically plastic, so it just, I mean, it doesn't burn, it melts. So you melt a hole in it, you know, however big you need for the plant you're going to be growing, and plant your plants right through it. And this stuff will last for years and years, so you can use the same piece. You know, you only have to do this one time, and then you can use it over and over again. What I ended up doing is, at the end of the season, or this year, because I was lazy, it's already almost spring, I pulled up all my landscape fabric, or all my fabric I had before, and then I'll lay down my rabbit manure, my compost, that kind of thing, and then lay it back down over the top. So that's where we're at right now. I got to go get some stakes put in the ground. Well, that job's done. Probably need to invest in one of those little carts you ride around on, because that getting up and down and crawling on my knees, I'm getting too old for that stuff. But got it done, and really that's the hardest part of the gardening season right there, is just laying that stuff down and staking it out. With this stuff, there's no weeds, there's nothing. It's just so much easier to deal with. I highly recommend it. Now, one thing I will say, or two things actually. One is, you may have noticed I was burning the ends instead of cutting the ends. You really want to burn the ends. That lighter's not the best lighter in the world. I need a little torch. I'm going to pick one up for the rest of the work that I do on this, but it works. But the reason you want to burn them instead of cutting them is because it fuses the plastic ends. So like you can see here where I burned that off, hopefully you can see that. It's just fused and it's not unraveling. If you just cut this stuff, then it wants to fray and it wants to unravel, and it's kind of a mess. So you really want to burn it, not cut it. The other thing is landscape fabric staples, there we go, that was hard to say for some reason, come in different grades, and you really don't want these cheap ones like this. So you can get these like this, or you can get these like this that are a little bit beefier. And these do not hold up very well. I've used these before, and I've got a whole bunch of them on hand because that's usually what I can find locally. I had to go online to get these, and I'll leave a link down below on which ones these are right here. So if you're looking for some, you can get them. But these are much longer, much sturdier. They don't bend nearly as easy, and they hold the fabric down way, way better. When I was putting these in, man, I had all kinds of problems with the fabric blowing up in the air. This stuff here holds it down really, really well. Now I will watch this. You know, if I have any issues when the wind comes, if it blows any of the edges up, then I'll just put another staple or two in there to hold it down. But I think I got plenty in there. So anyway, garden's looking good now, nice and clean. That's the other nice thing about this, is that, you know, when it comes time to clean this thing off, I can use a broom to clean it off, or a leaf blower or something like that. You know, any of those things will work. You don't need anything else. It's pretty convenient. I highly recommend it. So anyway, Thank you guys for watching, and as always, God bless.